Hey, how's it going? David Franzen here. How's everybody doing tonight? Every now and then, I like to get on here and do a video that doesn't necessarily have to do with online marketing, although that's what I focus on and concentrate on. Sometimes I just have some random thoughts I like to share with people. These usually aren't as long and boring, so stick with me and I'll share with you something. I'm a sports fan, and I had a thought that occurred to me in light of the game last night. Hopefully you're not a Patriots fan, because didn't go so well for you guys. I personally thought it was pass interference, and although I'm not a New England fan, I thought they were kind of jobbed there by the officials, especially that the officials didn't stick around to give any sort of explanation there. So I would like them to kind of tweak the replay system and maybe include, some penalties that they allow the coaches to challenge, with one of their 2 or 3 challenges like that. But anyway, I guess the review committee will look at that at the end of the year. But anyway, I thought that was not a good call. Anyway, it made me think about something I thought of a while ago. I'm more of a college sports fan. College football is my favorite sport. And there's been a lot of talk lately, maybe not that much lately, but over the last year or two, about whether these athletes should be compensated for their services to their schools, because especially the football programs at major colleges make many millions of dollars, and this money goes to the universities, and then it's up to the universities to spend it as they see fit, whether it's to pay Nick Saban $5 million a year for the next 5 years or whatever, or the presidents, or new facilities or whatever. I'm not saying that it's, not well spent. In many cases it is, but the athletes' argument, and I was always on the other side of this, that I didn't think they deserved compensation because they are getting free education and chance to play a major sport with major exposure, and if they're good enough to get to the next level where they will, make a lot of money as a professional athlete. The problem with that is only a small percentage of these kids, really have the skills to then go on to a professional career. So there are a lot of good college athletes that will never have the chance to make the big paychecks on a professional level, and they'll have to make their living and their career, in something, in a more normal sort of work environment, like the rest of us schmoes, you know what I'm saying? So what occurred to me is there's a way we could do this to where I think you could satisfy both sides of the argument. And that would be to give a percentage of that stipend or payment, or whatever you want to call these athletes. And, you may have to vary also how much you pay what particular athlete, because, like say a Tim Tebow back in his heyday, obviously, the school through merchandising and stuff like that is going to make a lot more money off of somebody like him rather than the second string, kicker. So maybe each player doesn't get the same amount or whatever, but what I would suggest is, and are you listening, NCAA? Because this is not a bad idea. Take a percentage of the money that you're going to pay the athletes, however you want to work that out. Say if it's $1,000 a year to help them with their expenses, gas money, whatever. Take a portion of that, and I don't know what it would be, we'd have to have some number crunchers, take a look at it. But I'd say something like a third of it, quarter of it, 25 to 35%, and put that in a general fund for less fortunate and maybe less gifted athletically, kids that want to go to school and pursue their education and learn, some other skill to where they can apply that in the workplace or the workforce of America. And, I do understand that there are student loans or grants, other academic scholarships and things like that, but there is a group of people that don't qualify for those things, that maybe their parents make a little too much money, maybe they're not the sharpest knife in the drawer, and so they're not going to get an academic scholarship. So there are kids like that that are really on the hook, to pay whatever it is, $25,000 to $50,000 a year for a college education. I know the average cost of a college education this day and age is probably, for a 4-year degree, is well over $100,000. So yeah, sure, you could get a student loan, but then what happens is when you get into the workforce and you don't even know if you're going to get a career or a job within your particular field, you're having to pay off that loan, for 20 years or whatever. I know people that are paying off student loans for year after year. So that's my idea. Take a percentage, compensate these athletes, and I'm not talking about going crazy like you pay them when they get to the professional level, but whatever portion you decide to pay them, make them feel better about getting a little something in return for what they're contributing to their university, making millions of dollars. But then take a third of that money, and that comes before the athlete even gets his money, and you put that in a general fund that can help the less fortunate kids that just want to go and pursue an education, and they don't always, they can't help it that they're not gifted athletically, or maybe they're not acing their SATs and stuff like that. But they're probably good kids that want to get an education and provide a service to the world, and they deserve some help in that too. I mean, the athletes are getting all this free room and board and education and everything for probably playing a sport that they enjoy and love, and may very well be compensated beyond their dreams in the future. So take a portion of this stipend, or whatever you want to call it, that you're going to give these athletes, and put it into that fund, and that could raise a lot of money. Okay, that the university, don't worry, the university is still going to get their portion, which is a lot of money. So take a portion of that money that you're going to give your athletes that do contribute to that, and give that to the less fortunate that can help pursue them, or donate some of it to charitable foundations or world causes or whatever. Just don't give the 100% stipend to the athlete, because as I've said, as I used to be on the other side of it, they are getting quite a bit in return for their services anyway. But this is a way to kind of please both sides of the argument, and just want to put that thought out there. So that's it for tonight. Hopefully I'll be able to put another video up soon. Hopefully you'll like me, or if you don't, at least don't hate me, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.